Now that we have multiple pages on our website, it'd be really helpful if they were linked together so I can navigate between them. So a navbar is a really good solution to this. So what we're going to do is on our index.html file, that's where we'll create the navbar at first. We'll say nav class equals navbar navbar-expand-lg navbar-dark bg-dark fixed top, and this will create a dark gray navbar that is always at the top of the page no matter when we scroll. So we see that we create this dark gray box up here, and now we're going to put some stuff inside it. So we'll do a div class equals container, and then inside there we'll do an a tag and say a class equals navbar-brand with an href of index.html, and then we'll do our initials inside. And what this does is creates on the top left of the screen here our initials as a link, and when we click them it brings us back to index.html no matter what page we're on. So now let's add a link to some other stuff we might want. So what we're going to do is we're first going to create a button class equals navbar-toggler collapsed type equals button data-toggle equals collapse data-target equals # navbar responsive. So what this is doing is it will create a button that when our page is too narrow to display everything in our navbar nicely, it will create a button that works as a drop-down menu to show the options in our navbar. So we need to show it what options should actually be. So we need to make our button have a look to it. So to do that, inside our button, we're going to say span class equals navbar-toggler-icon. And if we refresh the page, nothing looks different, but if we make the page narrower, you'll see that when it gets narrow enough, this little button shows up. And right now it does nothing because we have no options. But later we'll see it will be a drop-down menu of all these navbar items we're about to create. So let's go ahead and create them below this button. So we'll do a div class equals navbar div equals class collapse navbar-collapse id equals navbar responsive. And it's very important you name it the same as you did for this button up here so that they're linked together. So now we're going to create a list of the things that should be in our navbar by doing ul, an unordered list. This is like a bulleted list, sort of. Class equals navbar-nav ml-auto. And inside this list, we'll create some li for list items. Class equals nav-item. And inside each list item that we want, we'll create an a tag that's flask equals nav link with an href to each page or thing we want to link to. So we probably want one for contact. And because we're going to use this navbar on multiple pages, I'm going to create one for home above it as well. And it looks like I missed a start of the closing tag, so let me fix that. Now we have ones for home and contact. And just to make sure that everyone can find my resume without needing to go to the Contact Me page, I'll create one for resume. And we know, just like before, we link the PDF here. So we do that and refresh. We see that they're here. And what I'm going to do is whichever page I'm currently on, I'm going to have that one be lit up a brighter color than this kind of light gray we did. So this way you know what page you're on by looking at the nav bar. So currently we're on the home page. So where this says nav item, I'm going to add active. And if I save that and refresh, we see the home is now lit up this white color, so you know that's the one we're currently on. And we'll go ahead and show off the toggler button here. We see if the page gets narrow, we can click this toggler button, and then home, contact, and resume are down here on the side. So this is how you might see it on something like a narrow and tall screen like a phone. So now let's go ahead and copy this navbar and add it to our contact.html page just above the header like in index.html. The only difference is we're going to remove active from contact.html, or on the contact one, and then we're going to add it down here to this one. And it looks like I said contact twice when I meant index. So let me go fix that on both pages. Now we can test everything out. So if I click home, it brings me home. If I click my initials, that also brings me home. If I click contact, we see that we're on the Contact Me page and contacts all lit up. We click our initials, we go back home. We click home, we go back home. And if we click resume, it opens up our resume for us. So that should be it for a navbar. So let's go ahead and push that to GitHub. So we'll say git status, and we say we've modified both contact and index.html because we added a navbar. We'll say git add dot git commit -m added navbar to pages. Then we'll say git push. So now if we go to our PackHacks site, and we might have to wait a minute for it to refresh like last time. We'll be able to see our changes. Let's try the force refresh. So yeah, if we just wait a minute or two, it will show up. So let's wait, or we can even try it in a different browser. There we go. If we just waited a little bit, we see the navbar appears. We go to contact, we have a navbar, and we can click this to come back. So if you've done that correctly, you're ready to move on to the next steps.